on your coffee cup?
Oh, I love this coffee cup. It says Flying Fearless.
And what's the graphic? I thought it was a
It's
sea
just a
otter, but
bird.
that's because I'm
It's a
okay,
little
it's a
bird.
bird.
See if I can get close to my phone.
I have a bird too. So this is
Good
from my
morning,
friend.
Lorri.
Good morning. There's my coffee cup that everybody
Oh, I
gets to see
love
every week.
that.
It is, Brian makes fun of me. Then one week in our staff meeting, whoops, I'm hearing the audio. Can you, oh, that's so funny. It's a delayed audio. Are you playing the video as well, Amy? That's what happens when we run it on something else.
No, I'm not playing it in addition to this, but I can try muting if you want.
Will you be able to hear me?
Yep.
Okay, let's do that. It's like a 15-second delay. I'm like, okay, here we go. I think we got it. Nope. It's so strange. Maybe it's just me hearing this. Hey, everybody, Maggie, Raquel, can you hear this echo? And they have a delay, so they won't respond right away. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I need to take my headphones out and not listen. Okay, they don't hear it echo. I'm hearing it in my headphones, so we'll see what's going on.
Yeah, I don't hear an echo on my end either.
Everybody's like, what the heck are they doing? Hi, everybody. Good morning.
Hi. We're just getting started.
I know. I'm like, hold on. Maybe it is me. Maybe it's me on my computer and my live stream. Anyways, we're talking about coffee cups. So one week
Yeah.
I had a different coffee cup and I expected Brian to notice, but he didn't. But this is from my friend Sarah Rosedahl, who lives in Vermont. And she was an engineer, a nerd here in Silicon Valley, and she became an artist. And this is
That's
her
so
claim to
cool.
fame. Difficult
That's so
chickens.
cool. We
There
actually
are.
have chickens. We
Do
have,
you?
yeah, we have 6 chickens. My son adores them. Yeah, we get fresh eggs. So
And you named them like Kung Pao and.
we actually, some of them were named. My son's name is Liam, and some of them he named, and then some of them we named after like the Little Women. So Joe
Oh,
and
nice.
yeah, it's a fun group. They're very lively, but we get fresh eggs, so it's great.
Exactly. Let
Yeah.
me try one more.
Uh-oh, did we lose Lorri? See
Hi.
who else is on here. Nick. Hi, Nick.
Hi, Nick. Hi, ladies.
See. Hi, Maggie. Maggie's such a rock star.
Uh-oh.
Raquel.
We got sexy ladies here. There we go. Am I back, Amy?
Oh, good.
Gone. Am I not here?
I see you.
Good. I just sent you a message. I said, am I not here? Have I disappeared?
You are here.
Okay. And now I'm not hearing an echo. So it might have been me because I had, I'm one of those people with all the tabs open all the time. And I just looked at my phone after sending you all these messages saying, put it on Do Not Disturb. Turn off Bluetooth on all your other devices. I think I had like
Yeah.
1,000 windows open on my phone.
I'm just
But
sitting here on my phone. Everything else is off.
there we go. See? Amy was like, this is a little nerve-wracking. Yeah, it is. You should have seen until we figure, for those of you who are new here, we might have to make this person go away. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah,
I'm not sure
I
how to
think
do
that
it in
would
the
be a good
comments,
call.
but I know it's okay. For those of you who are new here, including our friend who thinks we're sexy ladies, yes, we are because we ride bikes. And my name is Lorri Lown. I'm a coach with Team Wilpers, and I've been coaching endurance sports for about 25 years now. I came on board with Team Wilpers as a bike fitter back in September 2020. And about a year ago, I had the opportunity to take over the coaching programs for the group coaching. And yeah, it's awesome. It's been the most incredible experience ever. And for this challenge, I wanted to switch up our athlete briefings a little bit. And so we have group leads for this challenge, and Amy is one of them. And so I threw out to the group, hey, who's interested in joining me on Friday? So bright and early, because we're both West Coast.
Yes.
Here we are. And so, Amy, let me, I sent Amy an ominous text yesterday. I said, what's your background? That's all I said. I wasn't trying to freak you out, but then I realized she probably um, is wondering. She had sent me this huge list of questions and thoughts and whatever. And what I can tell you about Amy, just in knowing her now, is she's a very thoughtful person. And she is a very good writer and has a really good way of extracting information and putting together some thoughtful questions. And she's just jumped right into this lead. So, anyways, Amy, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I grew up in the Seattle area. I was born in Ballard. So at the time, Ballard was really, um, more industrial. It's now a lot of condos, a lot of totally changed,
Yeah.
but still really fond memories from that area of the city. Moved out to Montana to complete my bachelor's at Carroll College, and stayed out there for a time to work with retired racehorses. I did some barrel racing out there. Worked in veterinary medicine, and then moved back to Seattle in 2011, just shortly after my son was born. And then I more recently graduated with my master's in health administration from the University of Washington.
Yay.
Yeah, so that was really exciting. And then, yeah, I've been a member with Peloton since March of 2020.
Hmm.
So that was when, the pandemic was um, just very much impacting our daily life, and we were all kind of reeling from that. So Peloton really just brought a lot of structure and support and
Hmm.
community that I really needed at that point, and that's when I really leaned into Power Zone training, and more recently found Team Wilpers, and this community has just been a real constant for me. So really grateful for the community, and have appreciated the people and the energy, and hearing everybody's stories, and seeing all the pictures, just, of, Debbie and Jeff and everybody they're all going out there and just crushing it.
Killing
And
it. Yeah.
yeah, more recently with, the Grand Fondo, seeing, Callan and Matt, and seeing Linda, just, that pink bike, man.
How can you not smile? I have the
How
same
can I
pink bike, by
not
the way.
smile? I
Right.
love, she is just such an inspiration to me, Linda is.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
everybody is really, they're just in their own ways. They all have their own stories, and
Hmm.
I'm just grateful for everybody here. It's
That's
a really
good.
special group.
I was
So
writing
yeah.
down, you wrote something, and I was like, oh, we need to talk about this because you made a comment and the support in the community. So, yeah. And now my new MacBook, where I don't know where the Bluetooth button is, just picked up oh, there it is. We're going to turn it off. If I can figure out how, because it just picked up. I am not one to adapt easily to anything new, not just technology, anything. And so for those of you who were wondering about the cardio class, I feel you. But I just got a new MacBook. I was being very proactive and didn't wait for it to die. But it took me almost 2 weeks to actually make the transfer. And I don't know how to do anything on it. It's all taking like different enough. So I'm trying to figure out how to make this Bluetooth go away. Maybe. See, low tech Lori. There we go. We're gonna shut that down. Anyway,
Hey,
this week
I
I
have
want
the
to.
hardest time with tech too. There's
Oh,
always
dude,
something that's coming up.
I know. Well, and it's funny. Okay, so for those of you who've been around for a while, Matt Wilpers, my boss, your idol, um, as we put this challenge together, said, I think we should send out a weekly PDF. And I said to Matt, I was like, is this 1994? So simple thing, right? Create a PDF. Okay, that's great. So then I thought, why don't we have the links to the classes in the PDF, which I know is possible because I'm on Nicole's hardcore calendar and she does it. So I started searching around low tech Lorri yesterday, of course, trying to figure out how. And I reached out to my group leads again, Amy, saying, why is this so hard? This is like no tech. It shouldn't be this hard. But so you got a PDF without links because it was too much for me yesterday. So, anyways,
think it's hard too when we have a lot going on. I mean,
there is.
yeah, there's just a lot going on.
There is, in the world in general,
Yes.
and it's very
Yes.
interesting for jobs. When we think of what do we do, because I was thinking, wow, Amy would be a really good coach. Look at these questions she sent me, and you're always so thoughtful in the things that you say. Thoughtful
Thank
meaning
you.
not kind and nice, but thoughtful meaning you put some thought into it.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. And it's interesting because when we think about personality types and mental health and all these things and how we work today, I'm like, I'm really good with structure, and yet I'm really good with no structure. And I'm really good procrastinating. Like, I need that sense of urgency to get things done because of all the things that go on in my brain. And not everyone's like that. There are people who, interestingly enough, check off their poll right away when they get it. It's like, do not want to forget that thing. But, anyways, enough of me rambling. Good morning, everybody. Becky and Nick and Stephen and Maggie and yes, we are. Yes, we are. And David, who else is here? Raquel and Valerie. Valerie's relatively new. I remember you joined us a couple weeks ago, so welcome again. I want to give a few shout outs. And Debbie, who we just mentioned, who's been riding gravel outside, she made a comment on one of her graphs this week about practicing. Oh, yeah, I've done that before too. Here, I have a napkin for you.
It's all right. It's fine.
I know. Anyways, Debbie made a comment about practicing her out of the saddle riding because it's hard for her. And I think that's a really important point. I think when we find something that's hard for us, we should do more of that thing, unless it's miserable, and then do less of it. But in general, if it is a component of something else that we're trying to master or trying to feel comfortable with, the more we do it, the more we practice it, and the more we embrace the imperfection of it. I think that's really important. We can, with our graphs, people are like, oh, that's an ugly graph. And I'm like, I love an ugly graph. It gives me something to work on. It shows me that I was trying, or maybe I can figure out where my weaknesses are. But our graph should not be perfect. We're not perfect. Our bodies aren't perfect. So shout out to Debbie. And then to Megan, who gave me a really good idea. Actually, several of you did, and it has to do with the cardio class. So first of all, I'm going to say thank you all for your flexibility, for jumping in and doing something different for many of you. And Megan had made a comment, flashback to the 80s step aerobics, which I had, by the way. I had buns of steel and thighs of steel. And what was the other one? Arms of steel, I think. But they were all step aerobic classes.
Oh, yeah.
And it brought me this flashback. I'm actually invited to this volunteer party for a women's cycling event, and the theme is disco. And my friend, I was like, should we dress in theme? And I'm thinking of all the disco, but then I'm thinking 80s step aerobics, right? So
I don't know. I think the theme would, yeah. I mean, that'd be pretty, like the leg warmers
and the leotard.
We do leg warmers.
Yes. Leg warmers were a very different thing in the 80s than they are now. Although I think they're coming back. And
they
sometimes
might.
I'm fed things at P90X. Yeah. This even is prior to P90X. This is yeah. So I was thinking, who was the famous, step aerobics person? Well, it was Jen Miller. She was like the face of step aerobics, and then lots of people jumped on board, and so it became a thing. So anyways, it gave me a really good idea, which is maybe next week on Wednesday, instead of having a graph, we should have a video. Right. So some of you were like, oh my God, I'm tripping over my feet. You don't want to see this. I'm like, I do want to see this. So maybe we'll throw a little contest out there.
We could. That would actually be really fun.
Right?
That would be awesome.
I know. And so I encourage you, do your Wednesday low impact. cardio. I know somebody said, "I didn't realize this wasn't on a bike." I was like, "Yeah, it's cardio."
Yep,
And we
yep.
didn't do, Matt made it very clear. He's like, "Don't do anything that requires other equipment. Just do something on the feet." And so we did. So I think we'll throw a
That's
video challenge out there. We'll have a little something, something for those of you who want to play along at home, and you can post whatever graphs you want to.
I
But
would love that. Well, and I think it's good, right? I think I read in another post that somebody was really sore from doing some of those movements, and that's perfect because Brian talked a lot last time about kind of that threat level and how we have to really think about what's gonna kind of challenge our body in a different way, and
yes,
sometimes we never really know how that's going to show up.
right. And challenge our mind. It's like, why do I
Hmm.
want to learn new things? Why do I want to learn a language? Or why do I play words with friends? I don't, by the way. I block you if I see it for 30 days on Facebook. I'm like, I don't want to see your words with friends. Sorry, now all my friends know. But but I want to do these things. I used to spend the month of December when I would ride my bike, um, doing everything the opposite. I would clip in and out with my left foot. Those of you who ride Peloton, that
That's
sounds easy. Riding outside, it's not easy to switch feet. You have to think through the process. It will never be innate. I try to eat with the other hand. I try to brush my teeth with the other hand. I try to do all the things backwards. So maybe I'll do
leading,
that. Yeah.
yeah, leading with your other foot. Yeah,
Yeah. So
that's hard.
it is, but it works our brain in a different way, right? And so, like you said, with the threat level, as Brian was saying, it allows us to then make adaptation. So that's the goal of fitness. So yes, so we'll do something different. And yes, it's good to be sore in a little different way. You're like, oh, I didn't know I had a muscle there. So and somebody said, yeah, I think I used every muscle in my body in that class. I'm like, probably even your eyelids, right? So it's one of those things that challenging us to do a little something different. And a few of you even said, wow, I've never done a cardio class. I wouldn't have picked one. And this was actually fun. Yay for fun. So, yes.
Yeah, well, and being a beginner again, right?
Yes,
That staying open to that is really important, and it's hard to be vulnerable, but when
it
you're in
is.
your basement or nobody can see us, right?
Right.
So,
And we'll talk about that too. So we have a good topic for today that we'll talk about, right? That accountability. What do you do when
mhm.
nobody sees what you're doing? I wanted to say hi to Pam. Welcome back, Pam. And I want to know about these ocean plunges. There is another photo. So photos are good. Let's show photos and videos. I like them much more than graphs. Get boring after a while. But Pam had made a post about coming back and doing these cold ocean plunges, and I'm like, oh my god, I would end up. My fingers and my toes would be freezing. But yes. Um, oh, and it was Karen Spender. Thank you for your quote. She said, "This is like doing cardio for the dangerously uncoordinated." I was like, "Yes, I understand that." The two left feet. And then one more shout out to Brent Hecker, who needs to change his FTP in Domestique. Brent is like me. I call us top of the zone riders, right? I don't want to fail, so I always go to the top of the zone, which is not necessarily the intention of our training. And he had
Right.
posted a couple graphs of him being, dangerously high or in the next zone, and I commented on it, and he's like, "Yeah, I need to update my FTP," and he's using Domestique to display his graph. So yes, if our FTP is not correct in whatever software or app we're using, we're not going to see a graph that looks pretty. But ride 2000 this week, which is a big deal. I know it's funny
That's
because some of you
huge.
are like, I'm on ride 37,000. And I'm like, whatever. Um, every
Yeah, and
milestone
I
is a
mean,
great
there's rides
milestone.
are all of all different time lengths. I mean,
Right.
it's all relative. So,
Exactly. And a lot of folks, it's very interesting. I love the fact that a lot of you have joined this challenge after a season of outdoor riding or your running
mhm.
season. This is a great way
Yeah.
to transition from running as well, where you've been building up and really putting the stress on the body. And now we get to chill that out a little bit and still stay fit. So that's the idea here. Couple of pieces of business, and we're going to talk about motivation versus discipline, which is awesome. So, for those of you new to the challenge as well, there seems to be a little date glitch. And I think what it is, quite honestly, is the time zone. So, when I look at things in Pacific time zone, for some reason, Matt Wilpers had a class that was released at midnight.
Yeah, it
which is
was like
just
midnight,
bizarre.
9
So
o'clock, midnight. Yeah.
yeah, clearly, and we know that Matt goes to bed at like 7 o'clock at night. So we know that he did not do
No,
a
he
class
wasn't.
at midnight. So I
Yeah,
didn't
no
look
way he
for
was
those.
doing that then.
But I think this was an on-demand class or a encore class or whatever. And so it showed up on my date in California time and your date in New York time, and I'm sure the Londoners got even more confused. Anyways, you always click and stack. So go to the website, click. That's why I was trying to get them in the PDF too. You can click, you can create a stack. The stack will go to your bike. When you go to your bike, you just pull up your stack. There's a couple of really quick videos pinned to the top of the Team Wilpers page that'll explain how to do that. And that's the easiest way to do it. But at the end of the day, if you see something and it's like a day off, yeah, go for it.
Yeah, no
Exactly. So
biggie. No
I know
biggie.
we are very casual here as far as compliance is concerned. We want you to be active and do what your body needs. And yes, so whatever class you choose, but that's the easiest way to make it happen. So click, stack, send. I feel like a FedEx commercial or something, right? What do they do? Stamp. I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah.
um, I know. Amy gets to listen to my silly. I am, by the way, the one here for comic relief. Brian is the science guy. I'm the comedy girl, and so Amy gets to fill the science role this week.
I love just listening to the two of you. I learned so much, and it's just fun. You two have the great coaching chemistry. So
Oh, that's good. Yeah, I miss chatting with Brian. It's once a week that we get to chat with each other and see each other live, and that's
yeah.
fun. So, anyways, the other thing that was new for this challenge was the Google form, right? So we're going to poll you. We want to know what you've done. It is not a competition. There are no points and scores and whatever. We just want to have an idea of what folks are doing. So, um, let us know. A few people, I think, filled out the poll the day the classes came out last week. And it defaulted to whatever the default answers on the drop downs were. So if that was you, you might want to go back in now that you've actually done the week and complete your poll. We really appreciate it because we're trying to see what people are doing so we know how we should proceed. So have a
Yeah,
little
get
data
some
to back
feedback
everything up.
for sure.
Exactly. Exactly. And the goal of the poll is consistency. And Amy's probably heard this a million times. I won't put you on the spot, but I often talk about the pyramid of training, right? And consistency is that
Yeah.
bottom level. So if we are consistent, we will be successful, or our chance of success is much higher. So that leads us into our next conversation, right? So motivation versus discipline. Let's talk about that. What prompted you to send me these questions, Amy?
Well, I think, really a common thread in some of the conversations that I was having with folks, this first week were really centered around looking for accountability and motivation throughout the challenge.
Hmm.
Um, and some might be coming into this training block, with, that already having that accountability buddy or having those layers established already, but others are still kind of searching for that. And so, I think it would be really great to hear, how what your perspectives are really on how
Hmm.
to develop those layers of accountability, like what's worked for you and what hasn't. And, I think accountability too is really tied with, learning how to trust ourselves and
Hmm.
practicing building that trust within ourselves. So, um, and kind of taking responsibility for what we commit to. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I would love to hear that, just from you, from the coaching side, how what you've tried and tested
Yeah.
and what's worked, what hasn't.
And um and it's interesting because you said trust yourself. And I think when we'll talk about layers of accountability. I thought that was a really good term. And it made me think about it in a way that I hadn't. And so I kind of again was thinking of this pyramid. Um, but I want to share a quote first. And I always think of this as my tattoo, my coaching tattoo, which I haven't done yet, but I think this often. And when motivation fails, discipline prevails. We talk about this in lots of different ways. I have no idea who said it, but I think it often, and it rhymes, so it makes me laugh. And then as I was thinking about this morning, I was like, yeah, this is like deep thoughts with John Handy, which some of you will know what I'm referring to, and some of you won't. So this is our deep thoughts John Handy. I always think of it as my Hallmark card moments. So when motivation fails, discipline prevails, meaning I'm not going to say that I'm motivated to train every day. Definitely not motivated to train every day and or to do anything. And when I think of training, I can also use the same analogies with my job. I need to show up every day, whether or not I want to. I'm not always motivated. I mean, I personally am motivated to do my job every day, every single day, all the time.
You're pretty
But
good at it.
yeah, but you know what? Sometimes we're not motivated to do our job, but we know we have to because eventually there is a penalty if we don't do that thing, right? And in the case of a job, it might be I don't have a job anymore, or my relationships. I have to show up for my spouse, my kids, my aging parents, my whatever, and maybe I don't feel like it that day. Sorry, kids, you're on your own. Oh yeah, you're 18 months old. Sorry, you go. There's the refrigerator and the microwave, right? So there's always a penalty when we make decisions, and when we make a decision that affects other people as well. So I like to think about that too. So layers of accountability. So this is what I thought about, and shout out to Linda, of course. But she was talking about the blue dots yesterday. So the system was down yesterday. Oh my God. And Amy found some solutions for that because she's good. She sent it out to all the leads and was like, yeah, tell your folks this. So, anyways, that's a big motivator for us, right? We get the A plus, we get the blue dot, we get the perfect attendance score. There's a race series here, a cyclocross race series, and there's a series prize, but then there's the perfect attendance prize. If you race all 5 races, you get a cowbell. I still have my cowbell. I think it's on the shelf over there.
We need
For
more
my
cowbell. We need it.
I know. Perfect attendance prize, right? So there's that blue dot. There's the extrinsic versus the intrinsic. So accountability to myself and trusting myself. We have to make good decisions about our training, right? What happens? Do you feel like getting up every morning at whatever, dark 30 that you're getting up, or joining your friends or whatever? So I have to trust that I'm making the right decisions, but it's also I have to trust others. I have to trust my coach or my trainer or the training plan that I purchased, that these are the right decisions. And that they gave me training that makes sense, not just moving around. So, yes, you do have layers, Jeff. Jeff is here. Jeff has entered the conversation. Um, and yes, you do have layers because it's snowing there. I saw your photos, but time to get inside and heal your broken foot. Anyways, back to layers of accountability. So there's
And
that
the
extrinsic,
blue dot,
the blue dots.
all
I
of a
know.
sudden that's gone. So,
Right. And I was
what
like,
are we
how
looking at
long?
insofar as what are, why are we doing what we're doing?
Right. And it's not just unique to Peloton. I coach with another group, and we use Training Peaks as our platform. And I saw a similar comment, actually, 2 comments from the same person the other day who was talking about, but I want credit for it. And I thought that was a very interesting comment. First of all, in Training Peaks, I can just go manually enter whatever I want to enter as though I did it. So whatever, I can have that credit. But I want credit for it. And I thought, is that what matters? Or is it the effect that it has on my body, right? The training. Does it matter if it's not on Strava? Does it matter if I didn't get my blue dot? And then I started going down the rabbit hole of, if we never got blue dots again, how long would it take until the Peloton community fell to pieces? Yeah, I know. Are you motivated by blue dots, Amy?
No,
No.
I have to say that, hopefully I think a lot of our coaches, right, they talk about finding their reward in the practice, right?
Yeah.
And leaning into the work being the reward. And what do
Mhm.
we get from that? Whether that's being outside and pushing up a really hard hill and feeling that flush through our body and connecting with ourselves on a
Yeah.
completely different way. I I, I hope that people get to to really just push or lean into that, because I feel
Mhm.
like that's where the heart of what we're doing is, where that really lives. Um, so I think that there's value to those extrinsic motivators. And I think
Mhm.
we learn a lot from each other when we share our experiences with one another. Um,
Absolutely.
so I think
I,
it's a balance, right? It's a
yeah,
balance between what we do for kind of ourselves and what we share with others. Hello,
exactly. Hey,
hello,
bud.
kitty.
Oh. When I adopted a cat 2 years ago, many of you have probably seen her, she's bopping around. Um, and I imagined she would, like, be one of those cats that would be up on counters and coming to say hi to my clients and whatever. She can jump really high, she jumps onto things, but she's never gone on a counter. I should feel lucky. Um, but every once in a while, she'll come over and knock my feet because I sit on a stool, and she'll be like, "Hello, I'm still here." I'm like, "Whatever." But,
Yeah.
um, yeah, anyways,
Scarlett likes
I
to straddle things. Like she'll
yeah,
straddle the top of the stairs and
oh,
she'll
yeah.
be there with like both of her paws. It's pretty
Aw.
great.
Um, as you were saying that, I was thinking of something, and, I years ago so, first of all, I became a ride leader years ago because I knew that it would, um, give me a reason that I had to be on a ride. So that was one of my motivators. I was like, okay, yes, this is good. This is committing. I'm committing. And I know a lot of people who lead outdoor rides who are the same way. I have a whole team of women who are like, yep, if I commit, I show up, I do it, I can help others. That's all good. I had a period of time when I had a lot of stuff going on in my life, death of a parent, some health issues, and some stuff. And I remember going to dinner with one of my teammates, and she said, "Fake it till you make it." And again, who knows who said that, but fake it till you make it. And I think of that often. It's like, okay, that 20-minute rule of I'm going to go out on my bike and I'm going to give myself 20 minutes. And if I'm still not feeling it, I'm okay. I'll come back. And then I got 40 minutes of riding in, right?
Yeah.
Or exactly, or committing to leading a ride, or committing to riding with a group, or sending out my ride time to a group and saying, "Hey, I'll be there. I'll be there. If I say I'll be there, I'll be there." So fake it till you make it. And usually, I think what happens is um, all of a sudden we're making it, we're feeling motivated. So yeah, so back to layers of accountability, that blue dot, and being accountable to myself. That's the hardest one for many of us, especially when we have conflicting commitments. We have to be the mom, we have to be the breadwinner, we have to be the partner, we have to whatever. We have to work and have a job and all of those things. And it's like your training goes all the way down to the bottom of the barrel sometimes. And so I have to be accountable to myself. I have to believe that this is helping me long term and that it's worth it, even if I have to modify what I do. Maybe I can't take an hour today, but I could take 15 minutes, and that's
Yeah.
better than nothing.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah. Something's better than nothing for sure.
absolutely. Although on the flip side, I will say more is not necessarily better. For those of you who are the more, do double, do this, do go harder, right above my zone, whatever. So there's a balance there, right? So there is
Yeah.
this boundary of do a little something, but you don't have to do everything. You don't have
Yeah.
to do
That's
more.
definitely where I'm humbled quite a bit. So
Yeah. I know you do a lot, but that's okay. You seem to have a good sense of what is the right thing to do, which is good. And I think helping people understand those tools is really important. Yeah. So, anyway, so we talked about ourself, our blue dots, our badges, the Strava PRs or the local legends or that kind of thing. My team, my club, my group, and that's why I keep calling this Club Wilpers. Um, Matt isn't crazy about that term, but that's my term. Club Wilpers. We're gonna be here for our team members, right? For our club members. And then last but not least, I can pay someone to be accountable to, right? It's like I can hire a coach, I can hire a trainer, and maybe that's not the only reason I hire that person. Hopefully, it's for their expertise as well. But they are a level of accountability. Like, I'm not going to blow off my trainer, my strength coach. I'm going to go see her. I might blow off myself, not do my training on the other days, but I'm going to go see her. So, yeah.
well, yeah, I mean, we have some pretty incredible coaches through Team Wilpers. We're pretty blessed. But I mean, even if that's not necessarily in the budget, it's been so cool to see um, just people connect with one another, fellow athletes,
Yeah.
like just becoming the accountability buddy. The hey, are you coming to this ride at this time because
Yeah.
We are starting in 5 minutes, so get
Exactly.
going.
Don't be late. We don't wait.
Yeah.
Which doesn't matter as much on Peloton. But outside, it means you got to chase, which some people like chasing. But, anyways, yeah. So, extrinsic, intrinsic, right? What are the intrinsic? What are the things that motivate me? My good health, my ability to do things. As I'm aging, it's like my ability to move my body. I don't want to look like people my age. I don't want to move like people my age. I want to continue to be young and healthy and all of those things. But I'm also motivated by the extrinsic. And a lot of you are, and that is okay. Um,
Mhm.
yeah, it's hard to, social media makes it very easy for us to share our life with everybody. And for some people, that's really hard. We don't have to do that. But if you're somebody who's motivated by that or motivated by seeing other people and what they're doing, that's awesome. So use that, use it as much as
Yeah,
you
and I
need to.
think the connection, right? The connection that comes from that is really important. I think that's the deeper piece is, just think, yeah, we all did that together. And,
Right.
that's huge. That was hard. Like
Yeah.
yesterday's ride, those zone five like that's no joke, like if your zones are right,
Yeah,
those are some hard,
they
hard
are.
pulls.
I
So
lulled you all into thinking this was easy, but what's the science behind, especially as we age? And I would say, what is the demographic of Peloton? You see an awful lot of people 40 and up, and that's great,
mhm.
right? But athletes 40 and up are a little different. Let me tell you, athletes 50 and up are really different. And for those of us who are a little older, what do we lose first when we lose fitness? Well, the high end. And there are health benefits to training the high end. So, doing a little bit of intensity, even during your endurance blocks, is really important, in my opinion. We'd had a little conversation about this on Facebook of, excuse me, oh, an endurance challenge that's not just endurance. Yeah, it's not. It's mostly endurance. We're building endurance, but we're also keeping the high end sharp. So you'll appreciate that. So whether it is on your feet or it is in a power zone class. So there's more of that to come, and we'll talk about that. Um, what else did I write about? Oh yeah, I pulled a quote this morning. Um, and Amy texted me back as she saw my show notes, and she said, "That's one of my favorite quotes." And I was like, "What is she?" Oh yeah, I put a quote in there. So John Wooden, kind of famous basketball coach. I am not a ball girl, but I know this quote, and I know John Wooden, and he had made a quote that was just saying, "Be more concerned with your character than your reputation, because your character is what you really are, while your reputation is merely what others think you are." And I think my takeaway from that is the rest of this quote, which is the true test of a man's character is what he does when no one is watching. And I think that is very true for our accountability, consistency, motivation, discipline topic, which is at the end of the day, it's you and you. It really is, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And no one knows how you voted. No one knows what you did for your workout. No one knows except you. And so at the end of the day, I want you to be motivated by you. I want you to find, there are people, and of course I don't see it in this group, but I see it in other groups. Oh, I don't want to lose my streak, but I'm sick. Oh, just do a 5-minute meditation. Just turn it on while and it's like, whatever. No one knows. You could have a 10-year streak at this point, basically, although I know Peloton doesn't go that high, but no one knows. It doesn't matter. What matters is you.
Yeah. Well, it's just, I think it's hard sometimes for us to remember that too, but it's so
Yeah.
important. And I'm just grateful we have people like you to help us remember that. So
Yeah. I know. A year
thanks,
ago when I
Lorri.
came
Thank
in, it
you.
was like FTP, 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 FTP. And now people are like voluntarily, they're like, okay, I think my zones are off. I should probably retest. Or I know I've taken a break from cycling and my FTP is lower. I'm going to adjust. And I'm like, that's what I want to see. I don't want us to put this huge emphasis on FTP of, oh, this is me. This is my grade. This is my report card. This is my value in life. No, it's just a tool. And so, yeah, that has been one of my big, I will say, missions is really educating people that There are so many ways to evaluate our fitness, and what can I do? Could I go out and there's this huge I live at the beach. We know I live at the beach, but there's this set of
I
stairs that
love
I
your
walk.
pictures. I'm like, "Oh, the beach. Oh,
I
it's
know.
raining right now here."
I know. Most of the time I take pictures in the trees because it's a safe place to ride, and, getting a photo of you with the beach on the side is always a weird photo. But, anyways, in my little village, it's at the bottom of a hill because we're all gonna wash away in, 50 years, and there's the coastline erodes, and there is a parking lot with a set of stairs, and I've lived in this village for 10 months, and I've never gone up the set of stairs. I think now this is no normal set of stairs, it's like El Capitan, going
Oh
up to
gosh.
or half dome or whatever. It's like, this is
Does it
a
have railings?
it does have railings, but I
Oh,
I
thank goodness.
I walked it the other day and I challenged myself not to step. They're also really steep steps. I was like, I'm not gonna touch the railing, and I'm not gonna look down because it is
Oh, yeah,
really
don't look
steep.
down.
I'll have
Don't
to go
turn
out and take a
around.
photo or a video at some point. But when you go up this set of stairs, then there's this amazing vista of everything. There's benches up there. I was like, how did I not know this is the place to look for sunset? Um, because we don't
Aw.
face west. Everybody thinks on the west coast we see the west. We don't. I'm in a bay, and you have to look over this way to see
Yeah,
the
you have to be like,
sunset, and the ocean is this way. Yeah, but from up
yeah.
there, and then this beautiful neighborhood, and I was like, I have no idea where I'm going with this, but but the stairs. I was like, whoa, that was really hard, but I did it, and I should probably do it every day because it's really good for those glutes and hamstrings. So,
Mhm.
anyways,
The tests of our fitness
yeah. Oh,
and
there was another test of my fitness. See, she's good. She's much younger than me, so she remembers things. Yeah, so that was a test of my fitness. It was like, wow, I walked up that set of stairs. I didn't have to stop. There were other people walking up that set of stairs, so they would stop and rest and right, pretend they were taking a photo instead of. It's okay. You can rest on the set of stairs. So, anyways, let's talk a little bit about anything else about motivation or discipline or accountability or.
No, I think I really appreciate what you said just about, taking the time to really think through those and really the connections between discipline, consistency, and accountability.
Yeah,
Um, so
I thought of all
it gives
those
us
words.
something to think through,
Yeah.
especially as we're drawing back through the periodized training.
Yes.
Brian described that really well for us, and just taking a step back and using some of that mental energy and time
Mhm.
to think about where are we vulnerable, how can we lean into that, how can we use that to build our resilience and practice that discipline. I think that's great.
This is why I asked her what her background was. She's talking about all these things. I'm like, she's got to be a coach. She's a mole here at Team Wilpers. We do have moles, so whatever. Um, anyways, yeah. So thank you for that good topic. I think it's important. All of us wane. So let's just say that there is no one who is perfect in their discipline and their motivation. And we look at social media and we think, oh yeah, that person's all in. And guess what? That person may be eating cookies for dinner, or not that that's a bad thing. I mean, I'm sure there is a reason why you might eat cookies for dinner, but
We all have our demons, so to
we
speak.
do, and so I think the wrap of that would be figure out your tools that help you at the times when you're having a hard time with the motivation, right? Discipline is a tool, accountability is a tool, having that group accountability is a tool, scheduling is a tool, putting it in my calendar. I did not put my training in the calendar this week because and it's funny because I had a relatively light work week, but as
Mhm.
far as seeing clients, but I had a lot of other, I have an article I have to finish writing by tonight. I
You
know
got this.
I haven't
You got
started
it.
it,
Just,
but I got it. I know I
turn
got it.
everything off just
It's in the
for a little
brain.
bit. Yep,
Exactly.
you got it.
I
You'll be
know.
fine.
So, use the other tools. So at the end of the day, when motivation fails, use your other tools. There's our new quote. I
Yes.
had saltwater taffy for dinner last night. Oh, Jeff. I think he's here for comedic relief. And you'd be happy to know,
We love
Jeff,
Jeff.
next to my apartment is the Mercantile, which is like an arcade, and it has a saltwater taffy place with a big neon sign of saltwater taffy.
Wow.
I know. I'm
That's
like,
hard.
I don't even think they make it here. Isn't that like an East Coast thing? We probably import it from the East Coast,
I have no
but
idea.
yeah, I don't know either. I can't remember the last time, dental work, saltwater taffy. I can't remember the last time I had a piece, but I loved it as a kid. Let's talk about week 2. So
Yeah,
we're
let's do
wrapping up
it.
week 1. Make sure to click on over, answer the Google poll. Week 2, same format, right? So we're building up a little bit. We're building some TSS. We're building up our training duration. So again, we'll start with some rest on Monday. And I encourage you, don't be afraid to take some rest. If you need to do something to get that blue dot or just for your mental state or whatever, do some stretching, do some mobility work, do something that feels gentle and good for your body. We're going to go a little longer on Tuesday. We're going to ride with Tunde. So we have another Power Zone endurance ride. And again, I want to mention this because a couple of people have said, wow, that's a big time commitment on a weekday. Always, 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 you can substitute a shorter class. So if your time commitment is 30 minutes of riding, pick a 30-minute Power Zone endurance class. Look at the outline of the class, the structure of the class, find something similar. And yeah, it's always okay to do that. Wednesday, this is going to be our video, our dance off. I'm going to have to do these classes.
I can't wait.
I
This
know.
is going to be fantastic.
I'm going to figure out, I do have a costume.
We
Okay,
could wear leg warmers. I mean, I'm just
exactly.
saying. I might have to find some.
I went shopping the other day. So I'm just going to show you some. I challenge, I'm an introvert. I have
Yes,
some
me too.
some issues with anxiety and anticipatory anxiety. And I signed up on a whim for this event. And it's not a singles event, but it's a social event, which is so against me, right?
That's
I
awesome.
am known for RSVPing yes to everything and showing up for nothing because I get inside my head. So, anyways, on Monday, on one of the Peloton singles groups, they were talking about Time Left, which is a weird name. Time Left is an app, and it's like Dinner for
Hmm.
8 if you're familiar with that. So, anyways, somebody was like, I'm doing this thing on Wednesday. So, Time Left is, they do not sponsor me, by the way. I'm just going to share my experience. They're an app. They're now in like 200 cities all over the world. And on Wednesday,
Wow.
right? When I looked at it 6 months ago, it was like 5 cities. It was like Paris and New York and Chicago and San Francisco, and I was like, "Oh, they're here in San Jose." And I'm working in San Jose on Wednesday, and I could make it on time. I'm gonna sign up for this dinner, which is so out of my comfort zone. But then I was like, "Oh, what do I wear?" I don't have normal clothes. I have sundresses and beach wear, and what do people wear to a dinner? I had no idea. You don't even know the restaurant. So anyways, you sign up, you answer like 30 questions. It feels like, like your horoscope. Do I like rock or reggae? Do I like meat or vegetarian or all these things. And then they on the morning of the event, they send you the name of the restaurant and you're in a group at a table, whatever. And there were several different groups, and I think based on age more than anything else. And they pair you up with 5 other people. And it's just meant to be social. And I was like, okay.
That's
And
so cool. What a
it
great idea.
is. Well, then when the dinner starts, they send you a game, an icebreaker game on the app, and then which was kind of silly, but one of the guys at our table was like totally into it. What's your favorite childhood song? And I'm just like, I don't remember my childhood, but that's okay. Um, yeah, and then they do an after, like, drinks where they bring all the groups from all the restaurants together at a different place, which I didn't go to because it was, like, not even close to where we were geographically, but anyways, all this leading up to I had no clothes, so on Tuesday, when I probably should have been on my bike, I went shopping in the village here and bought some
Oh,
clothes to look
show
like a
show
normal
us,
person.
show us.
Oh, well, no, I won't show you what I wore, but I'll show you
Yeah.
one of the shops was having, like, "If you spend this much money, you get this thing for you," so, which I had no interest or and I'm like, "I'm not a hoarder, I live in a small space," but then this popped up, and I was like, "It's a skirt." Well, it could also be a top, I guess, but but I
We
always
could.
for those of you who ride outside, you probably have a changing skirt. If you don't, you should. If you wanna know what it is, I can do a whole video on that. But it allows you to get naked on the side of the road without anyone ever seeing. You just put your skirt on, you pull the bibs off, you put your other layer under it, right? So this time you can pull it up and
That's
take your sports
awesome.
bra off, right? And I was like, "Oh, I need a new changing skirt. My old one is so old, and it's not pretty. It's just an old, horny toed skirt." And there, I have a new skirt. So that's my change.
Yes.
But it's kind of thematic too. I could put some pink leg warmers on and yeah,
You could. You
yeah.
could. I
Anyways.
mean, you could kind of go up halfway, like
Oh
I don't know,
yeah,
leggings under. You never
I
know.
know. I haven't even worn it yet, but yeah,
Jeff, we fully expect a video from
I
you.
know.
But
Yes. Anyways, back to next week, Thursday. And by the way, I was very happy to hear when folks did the cardio that so many people were like, "Oh, that was actually kind of fun." So
Yeah.
give it a chance. Give it a chance. Good.
Jeff
You
says
can
he
do it
has
in
a
your
kilt.
kilt. Yes. Thursday, we're gonna ride with Christine. It'll be a Power Zone ride again. Again, 45 minutes. If that's too big a commitment, just pick a 30-minute Power Zone class. You can suffer a little harder for a little less time. Um, Rest day on Friday. Saturday, long ride with Matt. Again, you can do a shorter ride or you can ride live. By the way, those of you who have noticed, the live schedule has changed. So tomorrow's live with Matt was supposed to be 8 Eastern and now it's 7 Eastern, I think. And whatever, hopefully someone told Matt. And then Sunday we'll do
Oh
mobility and
gosh.
core. I know. Sometimes they don't. It was funny. There was a schedule change on the Live Rides last challenge. They hadn't told Matt that the schedule changed tonight, or he
Oh
wasn't
my
on there. And I was like,
gosh.
Matt, you're not on the calendar. What's going on? He's like, oh, I don't know what happened, but I'm still teaching. So, um,
Hmm.
yeah. And Sunday, little mobility, little core. You can do a little light cardio if you want to, a little light riding, but yeah, let's get the body ready for the next week. And then, as always, the other thing I will say is it's been really fun seeing all the comments about how many people are on the leaderboard together doing these rides. So that's awesome. Yeah. Um,
Yeah, love seeing just I was think it was 70 people
is that
and
crazy?
that was, yeah, I mean, so cool to see. And
Yeah,
Maggie, you're totally right. We can do hard things.
we
Yeah.
can. We can.
Yeah. No,
I think
it's been awesome. And the small groups have been great too, just seeing people connecting from all over the country and
like my dinner the other night,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
We can make friends.
We can
Or
make friends. We
we
can do
will
this.
make friends. Yeah. So, anyways, I think that's about it. We rambled a little, but that's okay. We always ramble a little. Um,
It was really fun to talk to you, Lori.
it was. I thought it
Yeah.
would be fun to do something a little different. People get sick of hearing me and Brian all the time. So, um, Brian
You
said he
two
was
are
going to
great.
come listen, but I don't see him on there. So
I know.
sorry,
I'm
Brian.
like, Brian, you're killing me, Smalls. Where are
I
you?
know. Yeah. Anyways, um, do you have a final takeaway, Amy? How's that? No pressure.
Oh, I just, I just, I hope that we all know that we can be there for each other to help build those skills and those tools that you talked about with us. And just grateful we're all in it together.
Yeah,
That's
that's
all I
good.
got. Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you for being such a good sport. See, this wasn't that hard, right?
Oh, it's good to be brave.
It is. It definitely
So
is good to be brave. So, that's your cardio for the day, Jeff. Go shovel some snow. Warm up. You've heard stories about, men your age shoveling snow. Warm up, Jeff. Don't just go hard from the beginning. And on that note, thank you all for being here this morning. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Next week's schedule is out. The poll is out. Let's answer all the things and we'll ride bikes. So, have a great day, everybody. Thank you, Amy.
thank you.
This is always the most awkward part, which is how do I turn the dang thing off? Which sometimes I can find and sometimes I can't. There it is. Bye.